Hi, I'm Aurora. I work as an art authenticator for heritage auctions in Manhattan, which basically means I spend my days examining old paintings and telling rich people whether their great-grandmother's portrait is worth millions or just sentimental value. It's not a bad gig, honestly. Pays well, keeps me busy, and I get to see some genuinely beautiful work. Aurora, you've got a house call in the Upper East Side, my colleague Sarah said, poking her head into my office. Some guy named Marcus Whitmore wants an appraisal on his family collection before he sells. Whitmore? Never heard of him. Old money, apparently. Made his fortune in tech investments, but claims he's from some distinguished East Coast family. You know the type. I grabbed my equipment bag. When aren't they distinguished? Let me guess. He'll spend the whole appointment name-dropping his connections. Sarah laughed. Probably. Want me to come along? Nah, I've got it. If he's boring, I'll text you to call with a fake emergency. The Whitmore penthouse was exactly what I expected. All marble floors and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park. A man in his early 30s greeted me at the door, his suit probably worth more than my monthly rent. Miss Chen? I'm Marcus Whitmore. Thank you for coming on such short notice. No problem, Mr. Whitmore. You mentioned you have several pieces you'd like evaluated? Yes, primarily portraits. Family heirlooms, you understand. My mother recently passed, and I'm liquidating some assets. He led me through a hallway lined with paintings. This collection has been in my family for generations. I'm sorry for your loss, I said automatically, though something about his tone felt off. Too casual, too rehearsed. Thank you. Now, the main piece I'm concerned about is this one. He stopped in front of a large oil painting. It's me as a boy, painted by... My equipment bag hit the floor with a crash. The painting showed two boys, maybe 9 or 10 years old, standing in front of an old brick building I would recognize anywhere. Sunshine Orphanage. And the boy on the left, the one with the bright smile and gap in his front teeth. That wasn't Marcus Whitmore. Sir, my voice came out strangled. That boy in the painting grew up with me in the orphanage. Marcus's expression shifted just for a second. Cold, calculating. Then the mask slipped back into place. I'm sorry, what? You must be mistaken. This is clearly me as a child. No. I stepped closer to the painting, my heart hammering. That's Daniel Rivera. We were at Sunshine together. He had that exact gap in his teeth until he was 12. This building, that's the orphanage where we grew up. Miss Chen, I think you're confused. This painting was commissioned of me by my late mother. Then why does it show Sunshine Orphanage? Why is Daniel wearing the exact shirt we got donated that year? I remember because we all got the same ones and we hated them. Marcus's jaw tightened. I think this appointment is over. I'll have my assistant see you out. Who's the other boy? I demanded, pointing at the second figure. Because that's Tommy Chen, my brother. He died in a fire at the orphanage when he was 11. The color drained from Marcus's face. That painting, I continued, my voice shaking now, was done by Mrs. Morrison, the art teacher who volunteered at Sunshine. She painted all the kids. I have one of me and my brother in my apartment. Same style, same signature in the corner. You need to leave, now. Where's Daniel? I asked. Where's the real boy in this painting? Because you're not him. Marcus grabbed my arm, his fingers digging in hard enough to bruise. Listen to me very carefully. You're going to forget you ever saw this painting. You're going to walk out of here and never mention this conversation to anyone. Understand? I yanked my arm free. Or what? Or I'll make sure everyone knows about your little problem at your last job. The one you got fired from for supposedly falsifying authentication reports. My blood ran cold. I was cleared of those charges. Someone planted false documents. Doesn't matter. Mudsticks, Miss Chen. One anonymous tip to your current employer, and you'll never work in this industry again. Now, get out. I grabbed my bag and left, but my hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone. Outside on the sidewalk, I immediately called Sarah. Hey, what's up? Was he that boring? Sarah, I need you to pull every record you can find on Marcus Whitmore. Everything. Birth certificates, school records, family history, all of it. Aurora, what's going on? You sound... He's not who he says he is. He's living someone else's life, and I'm going to prove it. Sarah met me at my apartment that evening with her laptop and a determined expression. Okay, so I did some digging, she said, spreading papers across my coffee table. Marcus Whitmore appears on record starting about 20 years ago. Before that, nothing. 20 years ago would be right after the fire at Sunshine, I said. Sarah, Daniel Rivera disappeared during that fire. They never found his body, but everyone assumed he died with the others. Who was Daniel Rivera exactly? I pulled out my phone and scrolled through old photos. This is us at Sunshine. Me, my brother Tommy, and Daniel. Daniel's parents died when he was 7. His grandmother set up a trust fund for him, supposed to be released when he turned 25. It was substantial, like multiple millions substantial. Sarah's eyes widened, and if he was presumed dead, the money would go to the next of kin or designated beneficiary. I started pacing. Sarah, what if Marcus somehow got access to that trust? What if he's been living as Daniel all these years? That's identity theft on a massive scale. But how would he pull it off? The fire destroyed most of the orphanage records. Maybe he used that confusion? But I need to talk to someone who was there. Someone who would remember. I called Mrs. Morrison, the art teacher, and explained everything. She agreed to meet me the next morning at a coffee shop in Queens. Mrs. Morrison looked older, frailer than I remembered, but her eyes were still sharp. Aurora Chen, I remember you. You and your brother were inseparable. Mrs. Morrison, thank you for meeting me. I need to ask you about Daniel Rivera. Her expression clouded. Poor Daniel, such a sweet boy. Terrible thing, that fire. The painting you did of Daniel and Tommy? Do you remember it? Of course. I painted all my students. That one was special because the boys were such good friends. Mrs. Morrison, I saw that painting yesterday in Marcus Whitmore's penthouse. He claims it's him as a child. Her coffee cup clattered against the saucer. That's impossible. I painted Daniel and Tommy just weeks before the fire. I gave the painting to Daniel's caseworker to hold for him. What was Daniel's caseworker's name? Elizabeth. Elizabeth Whitmore. Mrs. Morrison's face went pale. Oh my God. Whitmore. Did she have a son? Yes, a boy around the same age. Marcus. He was troubled, always in and out of juvenile facilities. Elizabeth used to bring him to the orphanage sometimes, trying to show him how lucky he was. He and Daniel were similar in appearance. Same build, same coloring. My heart raced. What happened to Elizabeth? She died about 2 years after the fire. Car accident, if I recall. It was very sudden. I exchanged looks with Sarah. Mrs. Morrison, would you be willing to testify about this? About the painting? About Daniel? Testify? You mean legally? I'm going to expose Marcus Whitmore for who he really is, but I need evidence. I need witnesses. Mrs. Morrison reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Daniel was a good boy. He deserved better. Yes, I'll testify. Back at my apartment, Sarah had more information. I contacted the law firm that managed Daniel Rivera's trust. They confirmed that Marcus Whitmore claimed the inheritance 5 years ago when Daniel Rivera turned 25. On what documentation? Birth certificate, social security number, school records. Everything checked out because the fire destroyed the originals at Sunshine. He must have used his mother's position as caseworker to access whatever records survived. What about the trust lawyers? Didn't they verify? They met with him once, confirmed basic details, and released the funds. Aurora, he's been living off Daniel's money for 5 years. I felt sick. Daniel died in that fire because he went back for Tommy. They both died trying to save other kids, and Marcus has been using Daniel's name, Daniel's money, living Daniel's life. So what's our next move? We go to the police, but I need more evidence first. I need to get back into that penthouse. He threatened you. Aurora, this guy is dangerous. I know, but I'm not letting him get away with this. I called Marcus the next day, keeping my voice professional. Mr. Whitmore, this is Aurora Chen. I apologize for my behavior yesterday. I was mistaken. I'd like to complete the appraisal if you're still interested. Long pause. Why the sudden change? I need this job. You made that clear. I'm willing to forget what I saw. Another pause. Fine. Tomorrow at 10. And Miss Chen? Don't make me regret this. Sarah grabbed my arm after I hung up. You're not seriously going back there alone? I'm wearing a wire. And you're going to be right outside with Detective Chen from the fraud division. I already contacted her. This is crazy. Probably. But it's also necessary. Detective Chen, no relation, agreed to wait outside with Sarah while I wore a recording device. Marcus answered the door with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Miss Chen, prompt as always. I brought my full equipment this time. Shall we start with the family portraits? Actually, let's discuss terms first. Come into my office. The office was all dark wood and leather. Marcus closed the door behind us, and suddenly the space felt too small. So you've decided to be reasonable, he said. I've decided to be practical. You were right. I can't afford to lose another job. Good. Then we understand each other. He poured himself a drink. That painting means a lot to me. My mother gave it to me before she died. Your mother, Elizabeth? I said carefully. The caseworker at Sunshine Orphanage. His hand froze. How did you... I did some research. It's natural to want to know about the clients I work with. What exactly did your research uncover? That your mother died in a car accident, that you had a troubled youth, that you've done remarkably well for yourself since then. Marcus set down his glass. What do you want, Miss Chen? The truth. Who are you really? I'm Marcus Whitmore. No, you're Marcus, yes, but you're not Daniel Rivera. You took his identity after the fire. His expression hardened. You can't prove that. Actually, I can. Mrs. Morrison remembers painting Daniel and my brother. She's willing to testify. The trust documents will show discrepancies, and DNA evidence would prove you're not Daniel Rivera. DNA from where? Daniel's dead. From me. Daniel and I were close enough that familial DNA markers would show something. Plus, we have his grandmother's DNA on file from when she set up the trust. Marcus's face flushed red. You little... How did you do it? How did you steal a dead boy's identity? Daniel was weak. He had everything. Money, opportunities, and he threw it away playing hero. I survived that fire. I deserved something for that. You survived because Daniel and others like him saved people. You survived and then stole from a dead child. That money would have sat in a trust forever. Daniel's grandmother was dead. No one was coming for it. So you used your mother's access to get his documents? Created a new identity? My mother did it, he snarled. She said I deserved a fresh start. Said Daniel would want someone to benefit from the money since he couldn't. Your mother helped you commit fraud. My mother loved me. She gave me a chance at a real life. And when she started having second thoughts? When the guilt got to her? That car accident wasn't an accident, was it? Marcus moved fast, grabbing me by the throat and slamming me against the wall. You don't know what you're talking about. My mother's death was an accident. I had nothing to do with it. I clawed at his hands, gasping. Let go. I should have handled you differently from the start. One more tragic accident, no one would even question it. The door burst open. Police, let her go now. Detective Chen and 2 officers rushed in. Marcus released me, and I collapsed, coughing. Mr. Whitmore, you're under arrest for assault, identity theft, and fraud, Detective Chen said, pulling out handcuffs. This is ridiculous. She broke into my home. We have everything on recording, Mr. Whitmore, including your confession to assuming Daniel Rivera's identity. As they led him away, Marcus turned to me with pure hatred in his eyes. This isn't over. I'll destroy you for this. My lawyers will... Your lawyers will be too busy trying to keep you out of prison, I said, my voice hoarse. You threatened me, assaulted me, and confessed to massive fraud. It's over. I'll get out. I always do. And when I do, you'll do nothing, Detective Chen interrupted. Keep talking, Mr. Whitmore. It'll just add to your sentence. The trial took 6 months. Sarah sat with me every day in the courtroom. How are you holding up? She asked during a recess. Honestly, I'm exhausted. His lawyers are vicious. Yeah, but we have Mrs. Morrison, the DNA evidence, the financial records, and his recorded confession. He's going down. The prosecution called me to the stand. Marcus's lawyer approached with a predatory smile. Miss Chen, isn't it true you were fired from your previous position for falsifying documents? I was accused, but cleared. Someone planted false evidence to frame me. How convenient. And isn't it possible you're fabricating evidence against my client? No. Everything I've presented is verified and documented. But you have a personal grudge, don't you? You claim my client is living the life your childhood friend should have had. I don't claim anything. The DNA evidence proves Marcus Whitmore is not Daniel Rivera. The financial records show fraud. His own confession speaks for itself. An alleged confession obtained under duress. I wore a wire with police approval. There was no duress until he attacked me. The lawyer's smile faltered. No further questions. When the verdict came back, guilty on all counts, I felt something release in my chest that I'd been holding for months. Outside the courthouse, Marcus's lawyer approached me. My client would like to speak with you. He wants to apologize. No. Miss Chen, he's genuinely remorseful. I said no. He had 6 months to show remorse. He chose to fight, to lie, to try to destroy my credibility. Whatever he wants to say now, I don't want to hear it. He's facing 15 years. Doesn't he deserve a chance to make amends? Making amends would mean giving back everything he stole. It would mean admitting what he did. It would mean honoring Daniel's memory instead of desecrating it. Has he done any of that? The lawyer's silence was answer enough. That's what I thought. Tell your client he can spend his 15 years thinking about the boy whose life he stole. Sarah caught up with me. Was that Marcus's lawyer? Yeah. Wanted me to hear his apology. What did you say? No. Some things can't be apologized for. What are you going to do now? I'm going to set up a memorial fund in Daniel and Tommy's names for kids in the foster system who want to pursue art. Mrs. Morrison agreed to help run it. That's beautiful. It's what they would have wanted. Yeah, to help other kids like us. The memorial fund launched 3 months later. At the opening ceremony, Mrs. Morrison spoke about Daniel and Tommy, about their kindness and bravery. These boys represent the best of us, she said, and this fund will ensure their legacy helps others achieve their dreams. A young girl from the foster system approached me afterward. Did you really know the people this is named for? Yeah, they were my family. What were they like? I smiled. They were brave, they were kind, and they always stood up for what was right, even when it was hard. I want to be like that. Then you're already on the right path. Sarah joined us, squeezing my shoulder. You did good, Aurora. You got justice for Daniel and Tommy. I got consequences. That's different from justice. Justice would be them still being alive. But at least now Daniel's name means something true again. And Marcus? Marcus gets to spend 15 years remembering whose life he stole. No forgiveness, no second chances, just consequences. Good, Sarah said firmly. That's exactly what he deserves. What would you do if you discovered someone had stolen your loved one's identity? Have you ever had to fight for justice when everyone told you to let it go? Share your thoughts below, and if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true stories about fighting back against injustice.